Hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown. On tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about how 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles take down all of Xavier's mutants. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Box Office Breakdown.
Hey everybody, welcome to Box Office Breakdown. We are a new lineup here for Box Office Breakdown. So very much a shout out to all the previous hosts here, leading the way here. I know they've been here with you for a long time, and I know you fans are big supporters of them. Hoping they give us a chance here to stick around. It's going to be a little revamped as we do a couple new things, and we kind of test the waters along the way. Some things will stick, some things will change, but we hope you will enjoy the show as we continue forward. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me here on Twitter. We've got a whole new panel. Starting next to me, we've got Quinn.
Hi, my name is Quinn Scillian. You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian.
And hey, my name's Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane.
And it's DJ Richie Skye. You can find me everywhere at DJ Richie Skye.
Now, as always, though, on Box Office Breakdown, we're going to break down the weekly box office and provide insight for future weekends to come. So follow us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Jump in on YouTube. You can follow us along with the chat. If you got thoughts about this week's box office, please feel free to share as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts as well. So we're going to jump right into it with the top 5 domestic box office. Look at that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows, comes in at number 1. You guys surprised or not?
No surprise there.
Not really.
Not
Seriously? Come on now. It's almost like having another superpower movie. I mean, that's summer, so
but it's also nostalgia. Like it's like not quite as big as Star Wars, but it's the same thing. Where everyone's like, "Oh, we get to go see a new one."
Yeah, so
people are psyched.
Expected.
And nostalgia plus, those people can take their kids.
True,
because it's like PG-13 of the kids. Like, oh, we want to see the action movie, but it's like, okay, we can take you to that.
Did the last one come out in 1990? Was that the last Ninja Turtles movie?
No,
this is the sequel for the new one.
Yes, 2014.
Oh,
so
shoot.
yes.
Okay, I thought we were talking
You're thinking about
way back.
Way back.
In
well,
the day.
then you can argue on the nostalgia, how happy the people going to the theater are for the remake, because it's like the first one did well enough, and 35 is not too bad, but
enough to come in at number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now it came in a little over $35 million, but it was down from the opening box office of the first film, which came out in 2014. It's almost down about 40% from the original's take at the box office.
I was expecting a little bit more.
First
just
one?
a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I was predicting 43 or 45. I was hoping for that, but.
Do you think that's because we were competing with the X-Men movie, or?
That's a good question.
No, because I think it's people. Yeah, people already saw the first one, so now they know what the style is like. Because the first one, you get the excitement of like, oh, they're remaking it, and we're gonna go see it. And now they're like, either they like it and they're gonna go back, or the people who didn't like it aren't gonna go.
Sure.
I think that was certainly critically the first film was kind of very much a mixed bag for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I feel like that may have affected the box office this go around. People were a little bit like, do I really want to see another one of these movies? And maybe stayed away that opening weekend. But I think the critical reviews on this one are much better. So who knows? It might have a little bit of legs going into the next weekend.
What do we got here on Rotten Tomatoes? 36% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oof, that's not okay.
That's not great.
Okay, so do you guys let the Rotten Tomatoes critique or any other reviews dictate whether or not you actually go see the film?
No.
I don't either.
But I always
have to
check
see it for
after
myself.
I see the movie. Yeah, I tear them apart. I go in after I see a movie. I don't really I read a little bit of reviews, not really. You're gonna see it on Twitter. You can't really escape.
Yeah.
You can't really get rid of them. But for sure, after I go see a movie, I'm seeing what everyone else is saying. Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm all in the reviews. I'm reading everything. I'm gonna let it affect me, but I still have to know what they're thinking, and then I have to go see it for myself. I'm so weird.
I know. I love reading the IMDb message boards of what people say.
Dude, Reddit, man.
But so many times though, you go really, or you just go, did you watch the trailer? It's exactly what the trailer said it was going to be. Why are you surprised?
Exactly.
So that's more where I find a lot of the negative reviews are do you not know what this movie is?
Yeah, but I mean, also
that's why you're disappointed.
But reviews are the same thing. I mean, there's one thing when you've got Huffington Post, or if you've got a New York Times or whatever. Those are reviews, but it's a whole other thing where you're if it's something like Rotten Tomatoes or Yelp, people are only going to go if it's because they have something to complain about. For the most part, if you're not getting paid to do a review, if you've got a gripe, that's more of what you're going to see.
I don't know. I feel like I see the reviews and I can understand them, but what happened to just going to the movie and just enjoying the experience? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that critical about every movie I see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then back to the articles, though, there could be plenty of people that they go review a movie that there's no way they're going to be excited about.
Exactly.
Like some
They've decided
superhero
before.
Exactly. They already
Yeah,
knew. They already
know.
knew.
Of course.
Well, so all right, coming in number 2, we have for that we have again the Mutants. As I said, they're defeated there.
Back in
Xavier's Mutants.
Still holding number 2, though.
Still holding number 2 that came in at a little over $22 million. So a drop off of over 65%. Surprising?
Off is expected, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, usually it's around like half or so, but this says
Yeah.
65, so a little bit concerned that it had a little bit more of like more than half of a drop off.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can't get excited about these movies, man. I loved the first couple X-Men that came out, and now these new ones. Ever since the first revamp of them, I'm just like, man, it's watered down.
That's so interesting because I find that most people got more excited by these than the first set.
I know. I think that's definitely true.
Which is so weird.
Star power, probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
When you put Jennifer Lawrence in a movie, people are going to be excited about
Lawrence.
Yeah, but I even feel like her enthusiasm is kind of waning for that because they just don't. They seem to be doing a lot of spinning their wheels with these movies. So I don't know if they're with these 10-year gaps in between each film. I feel like the characters just kind of get reset. They kind of just stay static. I don't know where they're going to be heading with these other films.
Yeah, it's hard to track an arc when you're doing it that way.
There's also a lot of negative online press for X-Men with what billboards they did for advertising for them, so that could really greatly affect how people are going to the box office.
Yeah,
Because
that one where he was like choking Mystique or whatever. No,
Yep.
people were not psyched about
they are
that.
not happy.
Well,
They're
let me ask you,
complaining
like,
a lot.
Why was that so bad?
Because it's a violence against women comparison. Which it's one of those you go, yes, I can understand what you mean. But some people argue there were so many other better images they could have used
This is
from
true,
the
but
film.
it's
What
like
you're gonna
it
say
was
is that it would be
It was
more-
a moment. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because you're kind of wondering if this iconic character, Jennifer Lawrence, Mystique, is gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why they went with that, and I don't think that I would have been thinking that. And I think that when people complain about that, it takes away the excitement about the film. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
if you know nothing about that movie, it's a man choking a woman. If you want to look at it on that baseline.
Yeah, it's a startling image. I don't love it.
I didn't
really.
I'm kind of indifferent to
I'm
it,
not
but
I'm not gonna be the one posting. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
be the one to do the Jezebel rant about it or anything. But
Right,
I'm saying
right.
that like
I understand.
Yeah, when I did see that was what they chose, I was like, interesting.
So do we
that's
think
a-
that affected the box office?
I think so. Oh yeah, because that creates a ripple effect of negative press that people aren't happy about it, and then they just tell other people about it and so forth, and just keeps going.
We can get into that with
know.
Alice through the Looking Glass too. Is that their next one?
Actually,
No, we got
okay,
Me
one more
Before
for
You
that.
first.
But as you said, like Kari, you said you were indifferent to that. So for somebody that's kind of indifferent and you see all that, does that affect you in terms of box office? Like, are you more or less likely seeing that image to go?
That image won't affect that I'd want to see it because I like superhero movies. I like the X-Men. I'm a fan of the comics. I'm a fan of the cartoon. So I would go see it regardless of the billboard. I had we all chatted the other day. Actually, a thing that kind of bothered me, but it wouldn't affect my going to it, is I didn't like Psylocke's new outfit. And just from the billboard, I'm like, I'm okay with it being sexy, but there was no reason to cut out a hole in her already sexy outfit. But so as a fan of like the original image, I'm like,
Well, listen,
but
some
I'll
people
see
would
it
say
anyways.
that was a good thing.
No,
I'm just saying, people would.
I know, but I'm that person when the first X-Men came out, I'm like, Jean Grey's hair is not red enough, it's the wrong length, and like Rogue's hair is wrong. I was like that fan. I'm like, no.
No, I understand what you're saying because you want to see those characters look
Yeah.
exactly how they looked in the comic book.
And the
Trust me,
outfit's
I get
sexy
it.
already. It's already sexy, and she's sexy. And it's like pointless. It serves no purpose. It's like Aeon Flux's wedges. At least she had stuff in the wedge shoe, but feels.
There you go. That's right. Yeah, hot Aeon
And that
Flux
one didn't do very
reference.
well either, but still.
So coming in at number 3, sex, we have kind of a little romance right here. Me Before You from Warner Brothers. There came in just a little over $18 million.
Did better than Alice.
Yeah, it did better than Alice. I mean, looking at the billboards, I think we've talked about this before. Like the billboards, hard to gauge what that movie is if you have never read the novel.
I did. I
Yeah.
read the book.
Yeah?
And I loved it, and I'm so excited about this movie. But it still didn't. It wasn't enough to drive me to go see it the opening weekend, though.
So seeing those
Really?
billboards,
Wait,
Really?
wait. Why not though? Typically, I find that when I read the book, I have to then go see the movie.
No,
like,
I'm the same
like
way.
Invested.
I'm the same exact way. I mean, I'm really, really, really excited to see this movie, but like, it's the kind of thing where like all my girlfriends, we all want to go see it together. So now we got to like, figure out a plan and like do the whole thing. So, I mean, like, there's plenty of movies that I'm excited enough about that I'm just like, screw everyone. I'm going alone. I want to see this movie so bad. I'm going to go get my little popcorn. I'm going to go get my little drink, and I'm going to sit in that dark theater, and I'm going to see this movie. Honestly, I don't care what else everybody else is doing. Like, that's that important to me. But this movie obviously
You're
didn't
making
get
it
me
a girls' night adventure.
It's got to be a girls' night.
So
It's gotta be.
Interesting. That's so interesting.
Seeing that you read the book and you loved it, seeing those billboards out there, did they sell
Can
that
I preface
movie?
love though, really quick?
Go ahead.
Like, it's beach reading. You know
Beach
what I
reading,
mean?
okay.
So it's great. It's
Enjoyable.
great. It's
All right,
enjoyable.
yeah.
It's breezy. I read it in like a couple days. You know.
All right,
what I mean?
already backpedaling, Quinn. That's what I like to
But
see.
it was so much fun. It was so cute.
So we have an example of who's going to the box office for that movie.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm like, it's the romantic one. There haven't been too many romance kind of ones lately. So that's
Besides, like a Nicholas Sparks, some. He always
Exactly.
he keeps to be shitting these out like every couple of years.
all the time.
But do you feel like that billboard was a good representation of that book? Could you look at that and say, like, yep, that's exactly what I pictured when I read the book?
Yeah. I don't think the promotion was great.
Okay.
I don't
'Cause
know,
we were
dude.
talking.
It just, I mean, the whole,
You can't
like,
tell what it's about.
But it's Emilia Clarke, and everyone's like, Khaleesi, go see this movie. It's Khaleesi.
even the trailer, though, seemed just like, I know where this is going. It's not going to end well. Like, I don't want to see that. It's depressing.
It's a sappy
but it's
romance.
so cute,
gotta
you
go and
guys.
cry.
I
It's
don't
so
wanna see
cute.
that.
Sometimes you just want a chick flick, and this is a great movie for that. But then you've got it, compared to all these other movies that are kind of bigger smashes. So, I don't think it was ever going to come in top of the box office. So I think 3 is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually very surprised on that. As we're talking about it coming in at number 4, as we're talking about Alice Through the Looking Glass, a little over $11 million, down almost 58%. So, I'm actually surprised it's not more, given the fact that it just seems like, as we've talked about before, like a sequel that nobody asked for.
Yeah, I actually saw this one.
That's what we had that conversation.
Yes.
I kept
We
thinking,
had
I had this crazy conversation, and that's what we were going to do. Who asked for this movie?
That's right.
Because, well, for you saw it. Were the billboards the draw, or the previous film the draw? Because we were talking about how this film, for Alice Through Looking Glass, there were either no billboards, or they were put up so late, or they were so nondescript that you're like, wait, what is this for?
Yeah.
So their advertising campaign was like minimal.
So the impetus to go see this movie was that I babysit little girls.
Okay.
And they
So
wanted
it
to
was
go
a
see it.
kid's movie,
There
in
was
a way?
method for this.
And so actually I really liked it because compared to the
Really?
other stuff that I have to take them to go see, it was fantastic. And compared to Hotel Transylvania 2, Alice Through the Looking Glass was amazing.
Did you see the original?
I did, yeah, but I mean, like, so long. That was so long ago. Like, I think I was freshman in college. It was forever ago.
Comparison? Did you like the second?
Oh, the first one was I thought the first one was really fun. It was cool. I really like Mia Wasikowska.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's really, really charming, and so I really appreciated that. This one, I thought Anne Hathaway, I mean, like, she was atrocious, man. It was so hard to sit through that performance.
Are you serious?
But it was just like, yeah, I mean, I thought like because I also just saw the Snow White and the Huntsman kind of one.
Yeah.
And the draw to that movie was the CGI
That one
stuff that
seemed
they
to
did, man.
didn't do that well, though.
But I mean the movie itself, plot wise, it was fine. The CGI though, I mean, like all the
Really?
animated stuff was insane, and so that's what I was excited about this movie. And I actually didn't think it was that great. I didn't think the
Wow.
actual CGI was amazing.
I got a major headache and like seasickness from watching the first one in 3D because it was one of those it was everything on the edges was blurry.
Yeah.
And so
okay.
I was like, I don't want to see this
Yeah,
in
we
3D.
didn't see it. We just saw it.
It's just like, no.
It went real Blair Witch on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, speaking of 3D, how much do you want to see films in 3D? Do you
No.
feel like
No,
that-
never.
Do you feel like that's only a way for people to goose up the box office? A little
Only
bit?
animated films because that's the only thing that can be 3D and not bother you because it's not reality. So you're not like, that seems off. Because it's just like when they do facial recognition things like, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. But when they've done movies where it's like someone's face, but it's not quite right, you're bothered by it because you're like,
Oh, like
it's
kind of
not
like
quite
Tom
right.
Hanks in like the Polar Express, like that kind of uncanny valleyness of that.
That one's okay, but it's one of those. Yeah, your brain goes, something's a little wrong. So it's 3D with real people. You're like, it's just something a little off, and that's like bothersome to watch. And they generally get it wrong, and it just is like the edges aren't right, or just looks weird, and yeah, it's just a way to get more money.
Here's how I feel. it's like if you can go see a movie in 3D, there's a chance it looks really, really great. But there's also a bigger chance that it's going to look worse. So your safer bet is to just go with the standard and to not, you know what I mean?
I don't think it adds. I don't think it adds anything. It doesn't really add any value to it. No, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't feel it.
I was gonna say maybe only the cheesy original ones where they first started doing like the thing out at you. That was cool. Then when they first started it, and now you're like either it's lame, or it's overused, or it's just like why do I have to pay $5-10 more and it's the same movie?
What about Avatar?
Did I see? I don't know if I saw it in 3D.
I did see.
I saw it in 3D.
I think I saw it in IMAX, and that was good enough.
There you go.
See, I'd rather see IMAX over 3D.
I'd rather my screen agree with that. I want the screen to be bigger.
Well, the screen bigger. But you know what? There are some theaters that claim to be IMAX, and that's not necessarily. So be careful when you buy your tickets, by the way. Because I went to a theater, and they're like, it's IMAX, and it's IMAX prices. And I get in there, and I'm like, this is not big enough for IMAX. And they're like, well, and I'm like,
did you get your money back?
No.
Tell me who it is. I'll send a nasty email.
It was my friend's birthday, and so she wanted to go, and we didn't have time to go to another show. But it was one of those, I'm like, this is a lie. You can't do that. But
I just want iPic so I can lay back.
Well, okay. Speaking, I was going to say, leading into our next one, animated, like Angry Birds, you could probably see in 3D because it's animated. So thus that kind of leads better to it being 3D. It's not quite as unnatural looking because it's already in an unnatural space.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but why?
That one's, you're probably taking like 5 kids already, so why would you pay more?
So there we go. We got the Angry Birds movie coming in number 5, just a hair over $10 million, down a little over 45%. So, kind of actually a little less than the standard drop that we think. And certainly right now there's really nothing else other than maybe like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of competing for just more of that kids type of friendly movie, but this is the only animated one currently in there. So
I was told we were supposed to think of Angry Birds as this year's Lego movie.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Didn't see that.
That's what the internet told me.
I know, but I feel like Lego is like everlasting, like an evergreen thing, and I feel like Angry Birds.
That's what they wanted it to be, maybe.
And it's like 3 years too late. Like, why are we making this movie like now? I mean, I was playing Angry Birds back then. Now I'm on to Candy Crush.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't have it on my phone anymore. It made me too angry. Just like this movie being made.
It's a little dated in that sense, yeah.
Who asked for this now?
That's right. Richard, are you working on your Candy Crush movie, though?
Huh?
Are you working on your Candy Crush movie?
I am, secretly.
Yeah, secretly. All right. Can't wait for that big release. It's going to be exciting, guys. So that was the domestic numbers here, but the international numbers always have an impact as well. And in fact, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows, this was the biggest launch that Paramount has ever done for that. And that led to offshore premieres with $34 million in 40 territories. Not too bad. Now, Warcraft from Universal Pictures, not out here in the States yet, but it's coming out already in the UK, has $29.9 million in the second session to take a total of $70 million in 2 weekends, with that expected huge China debut looming.
Sometimes this blows me because I just feel like
this blows you.
It does.
Good choice of words there, Richie.
I'm sorry.
Continue. What definition of that do you mean?
No, you know what it is. It's
blows
like,
your mind.
I just want sometimes I just want a universal release. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Everywhere at the same time. So now I gotta read all these reviews from overseas, and I gotta do all this hunting to find out like what happens because I want to know before I see it. So I just want them to
spoilers?
do it. I do. I totally get into
this. Get out of this room.
Really?
Love them. Spoil it all for me. I want to know. Because then I'm still going to see it. I'm that guy. Sorry.
Man, I completely disagree, man. On Sunday nights, I don't check anything until I've seen
I
all my
know,
shows.
So if you know, tell me.
Now, we have Zootopia from Disney. Crossed the $1 billion mark at the global box office.
That movie's so good.
Yeah, a great movie, for sure. Really did enjoy it. Did you guys see it?
I did.
I
liked it, but I'm not in the I loved it category.
Yeah, it was like cute.
Because the plot was, simple enough, and I get that the message was important, but I'm like, it was cute.
That's the only word you can think of. Like, it's cute-ish.
Yeah. And but I'm not surprised because it is a well-made film, and I definitely can see a lot of people liking it. Yeah. And I'm not surprised at all that it did as well it has so far.
Yeah, I just like the world building alone that was involved in that film. I thought was really well done.
Oh yeah, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous looking and very intricate and interesting, and everybody knows animals, understands them enough to be like, ooh, I get it, or like, see animals, so it's not some like strange concept to them worldwide. They could be like, oh yeah, I know what a bunny is, I know what a fox is, and so I feel it has a worldwide relatability kind of to it, But everybody can like something about it.
It was really important in terms of message. I thought it was like the first time we've ever had a movie that was geared towards kids specifically about tolerance, and I thought that was really, really cool.
Maybe cartoons in my childhood did it enough that I'm like,
yeah, that's why I'm like, it's cute-ish.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
cute-ish.
Yeah.
Cute-ish.
Well, I stand for it. Zootopia. I love ya. Love ya. I'll even rent you on iTunes, maybe.
Clearly.
Look at that.
Clearly, a lot of people fall into that same category because it's at 1 billion.
Yeah, absolutely.
And still climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in China, X-Men Apocalypse took $6.3 million on 286 screens for the best Fox start ever and the third best weekend for the format in June. Now, you see those international numbers, all of a sudden you hear like, oh my gosh, it's the best Fox start ever in China for an X-Men film. Do you think for Fox is like, all right, definitely we got to double down. This is a good sign. We keep making these X-Men films.
If they make money.
You know they're going to keep making them.
Oh, yeah.
But I just also wonder what else was playing in China at that time. I do.
Sure.
Like, what else did they have going on? Like for them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know what they're watching at the cinema right then. What's coming out, like, at that moment.
Like when they go to theaters, what do
Chinese films.
Yeah, like,
Right.
I want to know, like, what the impact is with that.
Well, certainly, like this, I just wonder, like, with the direction that Fox is going with these X-Men films, like, seeing, like, these kind of returns, like, all right, we're just going to stay the course, or rather, I'd like to see somebody other than Bryan Singer maybe kind of helming these and seeing what a different voice would have for these.
Revamp it.
Yes, I think that'd
Again?
be. But would Fox say, but would Fox like, well, it's
But we were just
going
talking
great.
about how we're already having a hard time kind of following movie to movie. Don't you think that would be even more difficult if we had someone new stepping in?
Are they going to do, like, a new director every, like, every three films? Like, is this going to happen? Because otherwise, it's going to get kind of, like, confusing.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I feel like that whole universe could use just a general overall
restart?
A restart for sure. But without an
Seriously?
I don't
Again?
I
We'll
don't
do
need
another
origin
Deadpool movie, and we'll just like throw them all together, and it'll be great.
No, I certainly feel like the Deadpool movie is more successful. And I think it shows, at least for its box office, is that they just stayed very true to the source material.
Well, that and the fact that they advertised the hell out of that movie in so many different ways. Like, that was the most creative campaign I have ever seen.
It was a lot of fun.
It was
so much fun.
And it definitely had fun with itself, too, which was nice to see.
Yeah.
But that's
Absolutely.
That's
Deadpool.
source
That's
material.
Deadpool.
That's
Exactly.
Deadpool. Yeah.
Now, one movie that did come out last week, Popstar, Never Stop Stopping. Never Stop, Never Stopping. There we go. That's it. It debuted from Universal. Did not do very well. Came in at number 8. Just
But
want
will
to touch
you
on that
look?
briefly.
Will you look at this? 77% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're liking that movie.
Yeah, Interstate only got $4.6 million there at the box
It's
office.
going to be a cult classic.
Yeah.
I feel yes.
Watch.
That's what I'm
Watch
thinking.
what I say.
Now, with the 77% rating, do you feel like maybe this might have a little staying power? I mean, it's not going to draw a tremendous amount of money right away, but it could stay maybe right in the top 10 for a lot.
Yeah,
several
this
weeks.
is going to be more of like a rental. It's going to make all its money on the back end.
Yeah,
probably. It's
that's
going to
what
be
I
more of a
think, too.
rental.
Because people are going to hear about it, and they're going to talk about it word of mouth. Just look at Rotten Tomatoes.
Now, have you guys seen it?
No.
I haven't seen it, but I'm going to.
Yeah,
So
same.
now, but now seeing like what the Rotten Tomatoes are, maybe kind of a little bit of buzz that makes you more compelled to go see it while it's in the theaters, or like, I'll just wait till it comes out at home.
I mean, I'm not really compelled to like go out and see it tonight, but I'm gonna like. It's one of those movies I have plans to see it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know when that's gonna be, but
okay.
I'm gonna see it.
You're not doing like Quinn. We get all the girls together. We gotta go out.
Well, I might
bit
get
of
the girls
Sauvignon
together. Whatever.
You know how it is.
Now Richie's gonna just go get the
But
little
you know
popcorn,
what though?
little
It's
soda.
for me. It's like there are always so many other movies that are probably more of a priority for me to see. So then that one will get put to like one of those Sundays where I'm not doing anything and I'm kind of like I've seen everything else and I know I want to see it and it'll probably be really really funny and I'll be talking about it for like years. So
One of those.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, one of those.
When do you have a free Sunday, Richie?
Yeah.
Seriously. When do you ever? Yeah, come on.
barely.
Yes. All right. Now, that was the top 5, as well as a little non sequitur with number 8 there. But now we're going to give you a chance to get to know us a little bit better as hosts. We're the new hosts of the Box Office Breakdown. So we thought, as we always do, talk about some top 5 movies, talk about like the box office, those some kind of theme. Since we're new to the show, we thought we'd kind of give you a chance to get to know us a little bit better. And we're going to do our top 5 movies, just in general. Just the 5 of us, we're each going to give you our top 5 list. So you can kind of see where our point of view is, where our mind is when we're talking about films. So why don't we kick it off with DJ Richie Skye?
Oh God.
Yes! Because I know Richie's already said before the show started, it's like, I've got one. I don't know. Like, I think we've all got one of those that we're going to have to feel like we need to defend on that top 5.
Okay, I'm just gonna go through them.
I love it.
Interview with the Vampire.
Woo!
Really?
Absolutely. I'm a vampire movie type person.
That's your number one.
No, it's not my more. I'm saving that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going from 5 to 1. Okay.
She's already judging my choices. Really?
Dude, I love Interview with a Vampire. Are you kidding me? Brad Pitt, Tom
Really?
Cruise, and tiny little
And I like the book.
Kristen
oh
Dunst.
my God, like, that was her
She's
first
so
appearance.
cute.
Wow. Okay, interesting. I would not have thought those words coming out of your mouth.
See, what?
All
Okay,
right.
so next on my list is Clueless.
Oh, all right, nice. Yeah.
Clueless is also on my list, Richie.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You lie.
No.
I've never run into anybody that says that.
I
That's the movie
even
that
have
made
mine
me
written
want to
down.
move to LA.
Am I lying?
No, not that is.
I kid you not.
It's the movie that made you want to
It
know.
is.
Nice, okay.
The next one is Captain America Winter Soldier.
That is a really
okay.
good film. Really good
I
film.
love that. I can watch that on repeat, like back to back to back to back to back to back. The next one is the first Avengers. Loved that movie. So as you can guess, my number one is going to be Captain America: Civil War. I'm a big comic person, so like they had everybody in there. It was better than the Avengers films. It definitely trumps all of the X-Men, all of those other mutant movies. Like, it's everything. Love it. Like,
Interesting.
favorite movie of all time at this point.
Wow.
Can I also add an honorable mention?
Yeah, sure.
House Party. That is a classic movie. And if you haven't seen that movie,
Yes.
listen, you can actually look at it on YouTube, and I suggest you go, like, it made me want to DJ. So,
Wow.
There you go. Because you want to be the Martin Lawrence.
yep.
Yep, you want to be Martin Lawrence in there.
Not with the dragon breath, but
No.
like everything else, yeah.
You want to do his little move where he's just
Yeah.
going to shimmy in as he spins
That
around
movie
there?
was
Yeah.
epic.
All right, great 5 list as well as an honorable mention. I will co-sign that House Party movie. That is phenomenal. I cannot get enough of that film. All right, Kari Lane.
All right, and I know at least one of these I'll get flack for, but you know, we'll get there. Okay. I guess I will kind of go in order, but they're not necessarily like number 1, number 2, number 3. But we'll start with number 1, Fifth Element.
Oh my God! You know that movie is always on. Like it's always on television. I
which
swear.
channel?
Just about. I don't know if it's like it's one of those like off channels. Like I'm gonna find out and I will tell you next week. 'Cause
Alright.
I'm sure it's gonna be on this week.
It's always
That's-
on.
It's always on.
Some network exec. We're just going to run the Fifth Element all the time. That's what we're going to do, guys. But Chris Tucker just annoyed me so much in that movie. So much. I just can't get past it. So that always just
Can
turned
I
me
ask a
off.
question? Do you
Yes.
also like Total Recall?
I do.
The original or the remake?
original?
Yeah, I actually didn't see the
They
remake.
to me seem similar in a sense.
Well, the thing with Fifth Element
sense.
is I pretty much like anything by that director. So
gotcha.
it's visual. He did write it as a child, so it is a
Yeah.
comic booky, youthful feel to it, which I love, and it's very visually stimulating.
Bonkers.
My dog is named after the girl. My dog's name is Lilu. Spelled differently, but yes, my dog's name
Okay.
is Lilu. All right, so anyway, I just loved it. I loved just everything about it. And it's one of those ones, editing wise, and as I've gotten more into film, I appreciate it more. Is like there's the discussion. Where are the stones? They're not here. And it's cutting between two completely different conversations, but it's one conversation. So you're like, that's actually really good writing and editing because it's entertaining and informative with being creative. Another one that, as I've watched it more too, I'm like, oh, I just love this movie, is Hackers.
Oh yeah.
OMG, like
And that movie, you watch it later and you're like, this is so fun visually. Like there's you can see a lot of the ones I like are very visually interesting. There's part where they're in like their phone booths. I mean, it's super dated,
totally
but that's
forgot about that
okay.
movie.
So much fun.
And
I love
Angelina
that.
Jolie with the short hair. I used to have short
Yes.
hair and I actually had her photo as a reference thing when I went in.
Get out of
I had a few photos and hers was there because I was like, oh, she's so sexy and like, it's just cool. You know, it's just a cool movie. I rollerblade, so it's really cool then too.
that's her connection. I
Shut
roll
up.
blade
I
too.
rollerblade. That's another
So you
one.
can see that I'm very devoted.
and,
But
Yeah,
it's always great to see
the
what those
inline
movies, what
skates.
they're predicting like technology is going to be
yeah.
like in hacking, and then watching it now. It's always fun to look at that.
oh,
and
so
just
much fun.
filming technique. Like there's a part where they're in like the phone booths and doing a thing, and they shoot it where they're rotating. And you're like, that's just visually so cool. Like just a creative way to express that moment. So
Yeah.
I like that. Soundtrack is amazing too. I have that soundtrack. Pump Up the Volume.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say
Christian
Cricket.
Slater?
Yes.
Wow, all right.
That was
With
another
Kristian
one when you
Slater?
rewatch it. It's so good. So good. It's funny. It's very intelligent. I mean, I didn't quite have like that kind of teen angst, but I like the girl character. Like I'm more, there you go, but personality, I'm probably more like her. She's very artistic. She's very fun and she's a little wild and she's like, come on, we're going to do this stuff. So That one's really fun. Then Amelie. Love foreign films as well, and French films especially probably. And that one's just, it's beautiful, the music. So yeah, music, visual, and the story is adorable, so it's great. And here's the one that I know I'm going to get flack with, but hey, I saw it when I was a kid, so I loved it, is Waterworld.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That one I know did horrible box office, but I'm also a sucker for post-apocalyptic movies. So I saw that movie, and I actually went to Universal Studios, saw the stunt show, and I was like, Mom, I have to see this movie. And they're like, all right. And so I saw it, and it was super cool. And just, yeah, I like post-apocalyptic films. So
Waterworld is the one that I watch whenever it's on. I watch it. Do you know what I mean? Every single time I see it on, I'm like, all right, we're gonna watch Waterworld, obviously.
I have both versions of it. There's a version that aired on TV that had extra scenes, so I have that recorded on VHS still, and I have the original VHS. And I've seen Postman, and I like that too. It's Waterworld on dry land.
So is it
not as good, but
is it post-apocalyptic movies or just Kevin Costner?
No, there's other post-apocalyptic movies I like as well.
Mad Max's?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen those too.
But not as good as Waterworld.
There's a difference between, like, any film, I would argue. There's a difference between being a good film, critically acclaimed film, and, like, personal enjoyment film. Because there could be a film that's award-winning, but you personally don't enjoy it and have no connection to it.
Right.
Or you just see it the one time and you're like, okay, I'm good. Like Virgin Suicides, I'm good the one time and it's a really good film. Requiem for a Dream, I'm good the one time, but it's an amazing film. So there's a difference.
About Clockwork Orange too.
You can see it the one time and you'd be satisfied, but there's those movies you just want to watch over and over again, or you can put on in the background and be like, that's your movie that's gonna make you feel good. So those kind of are my top 5 of like, I can put them on while I'm doing something. Since I've already seen it, I don't need to be like sitting and watching it, but they're ones that I know and I enjoy, and you know, you're gonna feel like pepped up after it because you're like, it was so fun. I guess honorable mention, because another one that just peps me up is Center Stage. Oh yeah. I did dance a lot, so that one was so fun. I watched that movie and I'm like, I want to go back to dance class after.
Someone made me watch that movie.
Such a babe.
And Zoe Saldana back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a thing, quick side note on that, is there was a thing in the news lately where girls were doing hip hop on point, which is not really a big thing, but in that movie, they did rock and roll. They did point to rock and roll music. So I was like, okay, it's not really an original thing. This movie did it back in the 90s, but whatever. Right. Anyways, those are mine.
Yeah, I do think, I agree with you. I feel like there's 2 things that make a favorite movie. Rewatchability.
Exactly.
And nostalgia, your connection to it. You know what I mean? And so that being said, my favorite, we'll go with my most boring one first, Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future so much. It's a comfort movie for me. All 3 of them. I love the second one, and I know that like a lot of people don't like that one, but I can watch those movies over and over and over again, find new things that I think are funny that I like didn't realize were so funny before. You know, it's a comfort thing. I just grew up watching them.
There's something about movies from that time period that just cannot be redone.
Yeah.
They can't make movies like that anymore.
Yep.
Sorry.
And like Michael J. Fox, I would love to see this. Do you remember who they had cast as Marty McFly before they cast? Because Michael J. Fox was doing
Eric
like
Stoltz.
Yeah, I would love to see like his clips. I think that they're gonna release them at some point.
Are they on the Blu-ray?
Oh, I was told that they weren't out, but maybe they are.
Sure.
I don't know. Cool. I'll go and look at that. Let me know in the comments,
knows.
guys, where I can go find them. Send me a link because I'm curious. My next one is I'm gonna do Clueless. I'll do since we already said that, but Clueless / Cruel Intentions because I have like a really
dude.
Because I was gonna say Clueless, but since you said it, I'll be like, okay, then my next one kind of is like Cruel Intentions. Yeah,
classic.
I am obsessed with Cruel Intentions. Another one is just that like I just remember me and my girlfriend seeing this movie for the first time in high school and just being like, oh my god, Ryan Phillippe. Just like the obsession was so real. So we'll give Cruel Intentions. We'll go In Bruges.
Oh,
yes,
wow. Okay.
yes. Sorry, that was loud.
I know.
So good.
I love In Bruges. I can't help it. I think that movie actually made me like Colin Farrell, and I never ever thought that I was ever gonna like him. And I mean Ray Fiennes, everybody in that movie. I think Peter Dinklage is in that movie. I mean the entire movie is fantastic. We'll go Notting Hill.
Oh, nice.
Notting Hill. I grew up with watching that movie with my parents, so that's definitely the nostalgia in it. But also, like, I just watched it again, like, on the plane the other day, and I'm just like, man, this movie holds up. It's so, so, so good. And then, like, there was Notting Hill, and then there was 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and, like, Julia Roberts is just so much better than Andie MacDowell, and I love Andie MacDowell. But you know what I mean? But, like, Julia Roberts just, like, killed it. Like, she was so good. Like, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy. Anyway.
Yeah, much better than Is It Raining? I Hadn't Noticed.
I hadn't noticed. Oh, is it still raining? I hadn't noticed. And then we'll do Spirited Away.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, Miyazaki. All right.
I had that is like I think I actually watched that movie 4 times in one day. At a certain point, because I was just like, it was such a comfort, and I love all the Miyazaki movies, Howl's Moving Castle, I love Kiki's Delivery Service, I love them all, but like Spirited Away just has like, just everything about that movie is so beautiful, and the message, everything is just like. And then my honorable mention is Matilda.
That was a good one.
I named way more than 5. I'm sorry. I feel like I just. Anyway, yeah, Matilda.
Okay.
Mine, I guess, Back to the Future is one of them as well.
Okay.
Just because, like, especially for the second one, I would go with like Quinn, all 3. I'm a sucker for time travel stories. That's one of my favorite all-time genres. And just the way they go back in the second movie into the first movie, and just the little touches and nods they did in that, I could just watch that stuff over and over again. Groundhog Day.
All right.
Man,
It's kind of time travel.
Yes, that I could watch that over. I mean, that's just one of those, like everybody's saying, like it just turns on, and from wherever it is, I will just watch it all the way through. I will still. I just a friend of mine just had a birthday, and all we did was we just texted each other quotes from Groundhog Day. That's it.
So since you're a fan, I have a quick question. How long do you think he actually was in there by the end?
I remember like reading.
I've seen
like,
it.
an
I've
article
seen.
about,
Like, I mean, it's like it's millions of lifetimes. I think something
it was
like
like
that.
some outrageous number for that, which
Okay.
like man, all right, which makes sense, but it's like still, oof, that is punishing. I can understand why he by the end he was like, is it done? Is it done?
so good.
Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan.
Okay.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I say I like the first Star Trek. I wouldn't.
Okay, so with the next one coming out,
Yes.
I'm so curious.
All right.
So that movie apparently did not do very well. Like, what was your thing about it?
There is just like that moment when Spock is dying, and they're just like, oh, that. I mean, as a kid, I was like, I will weep. Yes, that was just so great. Because growing up, my dad was always watching Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was always on repeats and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
just grew up watching that, and
So
seeing
it's
Yeah.
good to see it again.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
mean, that, like the nostalgia factor, and you just bring in
Sure.
so much emotion to that relationship. So when that death scene happens, like, man,
Yeah.
you've got to be soulless not to cry. Speaking of other films that make me cry, Little Mermaid. I will cry at the end of that movie anytime you put that on there.
I almost put
yes.
Hercules on mine.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
when King
Hercules,
Triton is with
great.
Ariel and they're saying goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm just like, I will cry like a little baby every single time.
Little
that is
Mermaid.
on.
Dude.
Yes.
I wish I could have seen it at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I saw Snapchats from it. It looked like it was so much fun. Titus Burgess was in it, and from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and I mean a whole bunch of people. I mean, it just looked like it was such a blast.
Oh, that would have been very cool.
So wait, was Little Mermaid one of your choices?
Yes.
Okay.
Little Mermaid, and then Groundhog Day, Ellis, Star Trek: Wrath of Khan, Little Mermaid, Back to the Future, unless we're gonna go with just in the Matrix.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
see
Classic.
Wait,
Yep.
which
That
one?
original
The
came
first
out?
one.
The first one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just that moment when you see bullet time happen, like,
Yeah.
and not knowing anything else. There was just that like that feeling in your stomach where you're
Yeah.
like, I'm seeing something I've never seen before in my
Yeah.
life. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that feeling. I feel like I don't know if I've had that. I think the only other one I had was in Phantom Menace. For as much as I did not enjoy most of that movie, that scene where it's the long one extended wide shot of Obi-Wan and Darth Maul having that long extended lightsaber fight tape. That was the only other time I felt like that little twinge, like, oh wow, that is so cool. But since then, I haven't found anything else. I'm still chasing that feeling, guys. Still chasing that. So that right there is our top 5. Maybe you get a chance to know us a little bit better.
Or judge us.
Judge us accordingly.
Probably judge us.
Whatever.
Yeah.
What have you?
Tweet your judgment at us. We will take it. I will accept your scorn. I'll take
I just
that.
love the attention. So yeah, tweet at me.
Now, coming out this week, the week of this Friday, June 10th, we've got some upcoming films being released in the box office, including The Conjuring 2, as we're talking about sequels, Now You See Me 2, another sequel, and then finally Warcraft, already been released over in the UK, but now coming out stateside. So, it's time now. We're going to be doing a little predictions here. Now, the original Conjuring's opening weekend was nearly 42 million before dropping down to 22 million in its second weekend. So just keep that in mind as we're talking about that. And the first Now You See Me, which opened around 29.5 million before dropping to 19 million in its second weekend.
Did you guys see the Now You See Me?
I did see that.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
really
one,
liked
yeah.
it.
I
I
love
did not.
that
I did not
movie.
like that movie. I can't believe they made a second one.
I think it
Guess why?
Oh, I thought it was such a snooze, man. I was so bored.
Really?
I really was.
I was fascinated.
It was
the
Unpopular
entire
opinion,
time.
as you will, but whatever.
I think it was kind of a sleeper movie. It didn't do well at the box office, but I think
No.
it's one of those, like, you didn't go see it and then you saw it later and you're like, that was really
Exactly.
good.
That's what happened to me.
I'm a
I
sucker
saw it
for
because
magic.
people were talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now with that in mind, to give you a few little caveats to our predictions, because now we're going to be doing a little bit of a game here. We're going to be doing a little Price is Right with our box office predictions. That's right, we got theme song Price is Right.
I was wondering why that YouTube video was up.
There we go, here we go. So basically how it's going to work is we're all going to basically take one film here, we're going to predict the box office here of what we think that this will do, and here we go. We're gonna do Now You See Me Too. Why not? We're gonna do Now You See Me Too. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're all gonna take our pick for where we think this is gonna fall. Give us your box office opening weekend for Now You See Me Too. Given the fact that the original did $29.5 million in its opening weekend, it came down to $19 million in its second. Richie Skye, what do you predict the opening box office will be for Now You See Me Too?
I'm going to say 31 million.
Interesting.
The reason I say that is because my personal belief is that people will see it based on what they saw from the first one. And I thought it was phenomenal. So it makes me want to go see the second one.
Okay.
Just my thought.
All right.
I'm going to go a little bit conservative. I'm going to go 26. I'm going lower than the first because I don't think it is, people really know what it is, but it does have a lot more names in it this time around. Mm-hmm. So that might be a bigger drop, but I'll go with 26.
Okay. All right.
I think
Quinn?
I'm going to kind of go in between you guys. I think it's going to do better than 26 just because the billboards, man.
Mm-hmm.
Those billboards with all those names on it.
Yep.
You said 26, you said 31. I'm going to go around 28. I really think it's going to do all right. I think it's actually going to do. I'm going to say it might match. It might match the first one.
Really? You think it'll be 29?
Just the billboards. I mean,
Yeah,
you have Morgan
not see
Freeman
them.
and Daniel Radcliffe and everybody else on those things. People are gonna love to see that, even if they hadn't seen the first one. I think.
I agree that it's got a lot of names in there, but it's also going against The Conjuring 2, which has a lot
enough.
of heat behind it as well. The
True.
early reviews are that good. It's a horror movie.
Different crowd, though.
Different crowd, but I still think it's not going to do as well as The Conjuring 2. So I'm going to go 20. I'm going to say 27 for that. That's
Ooh,
where I'm
right
going.
in the middle.
Right in the middle. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that.
Well
I should have done
played,
26
sir.
1.
Well played.
26 1? No. I'm going for a full 27, guys.
Woo!
Yes. So that right there, our little Price is Right game. We'll see how we do next week. We'll see who takes the validated bragging rights. All right. So now, folks, now we do our Price is Right for that one. We're going to do our actual top 5 predictions of the films coming out. Now, of course, as we have coming out, as I mentioned, The Conjuring 2, Now You See Me 2. We also have Warcraft, and then we have everything that's in play this week, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Will X-Men still stay in the box office top 5? Me Before You, Little Romance. All right. So, Quinn, what do you think? Starting with you, what do you think the top 5 is going to be?
I think number 5 is going to be Warcraft. Honestly, I think all of these openings are going to bump out everything pretty much besides Mutant Ninja Turtles and X-Men. I think we're looking at
Just to
everything.
clarify, Quinn?
Yeah.
Number 5 would be the one in last place.
Right.
So you think Warcraft's going to bump out everything? Do you think it's going to be in the first place, like
This
the
is so
highest?
complicated. I don't know. Yeah, I think that it's gonna go. I think it's gonna go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 1. Number 2, we'll throw in The Conjuring. Number 3, Now You See Me. X-Men, Warcraft.
Interesting. All right. Look at that. You still think the Turtles are going to stay strong?
I do.
All right. Kari
All
Lane.
right. I think Conjuring's going to do well. I think they'll be number 1. Horror films often do well. A lot of people like the first one. And for a horror film, that's pretty darn good. So number 1, Conjuring 2. Because it's new, I think Now You See Me 2 will be 2nd. Ninja Turtles for 3rd. X-Men 4, Warcraft 5.
Interesting.
I feel Warcraft is not going to get as big of a draw, so that's why.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Richie.
I completely agree with Kari. The only thing is that I would change Warcraft with X-Men.
Okay.
Okay.
So Warcraft would be 6. X-Men's 5.
Yeah. Well, X-Men would be
6 and Warcraft's 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I'll go Conjuring 2, Now You See Me 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Warcraft, and then X-Men.
So we are all in agreement that we think that The Conjuring 2 is going to top the box.
Yeah, I agree. I said it was going to be Ninja Turtles, but I'm changing my mind because I can do that.
I gotta talk from the booth. I'm actually patched in. People can hear me right now.
All right, go ahead, Steve.
I gotta say, Warcraft made $70 million in UK in 2 weeks, and you guys all put it number 5.
Well, I put it before X-Men.
I think it will at least do as well as Conjuring 2. So I'm not gonna make you change your top 5, but I'm gonna throw that out there that I think it'll.
You think Warcraft is gonna like do better than Conjuring?
I think Warcraft's gonna make at least 35 million.
Okay, I think I'll switch my X-Men at 5, Warcraft at 4.
Do we win something if we get it right?
Just the bragging rights.
The bragging rights that you got it right.
I mean, who's gonna be the first one on this panel to get it right?
That's true. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Well,
We'll find out.
Just,
Yeah, well, the problem with Warcraft is, I mean, it is an action movie, so you get a big draw. Action movies often get a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
It is fantasy, though, so that could be mixed bag with some people. But based on its source material, that has a huge built-in audience. So, but then they might be tentative of like, are you messing up our game?
That's a very passionate group of people, so
Yes.
we'll have to see.
I think that could also build as
Yeah,
well.
it
You know
could
what
be
I'm
one
saying?
that
Like,
later
it continues to rise.
they'll talk at their guild. They'll be like, guys, we need to go see it next week.
Exactly.
I keep getting the Warcraft posters and the Tarzan posters mixed up. They look so much alike.
Well, that's
How
not a
you-
good thing.
No,
So-
it's not a good thing.
There's a little bit of drama on this show with someone named Boss Turner who calls in every week to the show, and he's a little bit upset that the last co-host left. And he told me he would not call in tonight because he was in protest. Everyone in the chat loves you guys, though. I want you guys to know that. But he's calling in right now. Do you want to?
Yeah, sure,
see
watch
what?
it.
Bring it on, buddy.
Bring it.
Hey, Boss Turner, you're on the line.
It's Boss Turner.
Boss, how are you, sir?
Fine.
All right, so now I understand you were perhaps going to be a little protest about calling in. You've changed your mind. What do you have to say to us?
Yeah, I used to call to the show all the time with the previous host used to do this show.
Fantastic, boss. Well, here, we'd love to hear what you have to say here as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of over there because the show had to get new hosts and stuff. But so they still call once in a while.
Oh, well.
Yeah, don't be a stranger.
This weekend, The Conjuring 2 is going to be the #1 movie because I saw the first one in theaters. The first one, I liked the first one, but it wasn't scary, though, to me. But its prequel was scary. Annabelle was scary to me.
No, they do a great job, yes.
I think The Conjuring 2 probably will do it could do like $48 million.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, and number two probably Now You See Me 2. That'll probably do probably like 35.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
Yeah.
You said 35 for
That
Now
was
You See Me
close-
Too?
that was close to my guess.
That's way more than any of us had for it.
Yeah, number 3 probably gonna be on Ninja Turtles 2, which I seen already.
You're matching up with my choices. Yeah.
Yeah, they put them in my city last year. And number 4 probably Warcraft. And
Yep,
number
yep.
5 probably.
Wait, what's number 5? What'd you say for 5?
I said 4 is Warcraft.
Yeah.
Number 5
Okay.
probably be. Number 5 probably be X-Men Apocalypse.
You and I are in complete
Okay.
agreement. That's
Okay.
exactly my decision, too.
now, boss, you heard
Me
Steven.
too.
There you go. Steven thinks Warcraft's going to do much better than we've thought, than we
we'll
predicted
see.
on here. So what do you think? Do you think Steven's right?
I don't know because the movies look ridiculous. I think it's gonna bomb here in the US. It don't look good. CGI looks terrible. It's crap. So,
Yeah, there's too much other stuff already, I think, that is like kind of aligning with the same kind of
Yeah.
viewers that for it to do well, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I mean, time will only tell us.
That's
Yeah.
Time
That's the
will-
only way we're going to know. We'll find out next week.
Thank you, Kari. Yes.
Oh, yes, just really,
All
really
right,
good words
boss.
there from
Thanks
Kari.
so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate you
calling,
calling
man.
in. Yes, please.
All right.
Call
All
in as
right,
much as you
bye.
can.
You want me to go ahead and throw the number up for more callers?
Yeah, why not? We'll get a couple calls here.
Yeah,
see
we
if
got
anybody-
some time. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the show. So
We got
I'll-
a couple minutes.
I'll take
Yeah.
some callers. I'm going to put the number in the chat. It's 424-253-0504. If people want to call in, I'll go ahead and take the calls now. 424-253-0504.
All right. So while we're seeing somebody
Yeah,
calls
you guys
in,
are really great.
Man, they're awesome.
Now, we did have a little bit of debate there. Stephen chimed in regards to Warcraft. It says in 2 weeks it's had $70 million. Now, I certainly don't know all the UK box office releases there.
Pretty
but,
much the same as ours, probably.
But that's
yeah,
also foreign release, because sometimes foreign films, like, I think it works both ways. Over there, they're like, oh my gosh, cool new American movie. Over here, if you're a fan of foreign films, you're like, oh cool, new foreign film. So that could be the draw as well.
Yeah, but it'd be interesting to see in the UK what else is it's being up against.
What else is coming out?
Does it have the Conjuring 2 going at the same time?
I think even abroad, for the most part, American movies do pretty much the best.
Got a caller on the line.
That's
Oh,
all
we got
right.
a hot caller. All right. Welcome to Box Office.
Hello, my name is Starter from Canada.
Oh, wow.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for
All
calling
right.
in.
How you doing this evening?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right, excellent. So what do you think is going to do box office wise? Who's going to take the top crown of the box office this coming weekend?
I'm with the brown girl, thinking Now You See Me Too would be 26.
Ah, all right.
Okay.
Ah, okay.
Okay, going with 26.
But I'm thinking Warcraft could do 40 or 50 billion this week.
Wow, man,
That's a
that's a lot of money. Look, all right, so definitely siding with Steven on that. You think it's going to do much better than the rest of us think it's going to do here?
Conjuring 2 could do at least good 30.
Okay. Yeah,
Ah,
at least 30.
That's
yeah.
right on
At least
target.
30, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw in the wrench with X-Men and have it for 8 mil, but 5th place.
Interesting.
All right.
All right.
That's my decision too. Yeah.
nice.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Look at that. All right, man. Still a little love for the X-Men, right there. They're still
It's
holding
gonna
it.
hold on, I think, to spot number 5.
I think it might be a little late for callers this time, but
Yeah.
I think that was a great show, guys.
Look at that. All right, guys. So look at that. Already, look at that. Box Office Breakdown, the first new edition of this new panel. Thanks so much for sticking
Made it
around
the
with us
first
here.
one.
Yes, the first of many yet to come here.
Yay.
All right, but now, folks, as we said, like us on Facebook, follow us on iTunes, give us those 5 stars right there.
Yes,
Continue the
share it.
conversation
Thumbs
with us
up.
on Twitter as well. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Richie, if they want to continue the conversation even after the show is over, where can they find you?
Feel free to stalk me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Skye.
And you can find me online at Kari D. Lane. That's KARIDLANE.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Quinn Scillian. You can find me on Instagram at Quinstagram. And you can find me on Snapchat at QuapChat. Snap me. Hey, why not?
Man, I'm so envious of all their names right there. I want those. Oh my goodness, you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. That's it. We'll see you next week for another edition of Box Office Breakdown here on Popcorn Talk. Get your popcorn, go to the sodas, go to the movies, guys. Go to the movies.
Go see the picture shows.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.